This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Armenia's Foreign Minister, Ararat Mirzoyan, announced today that pushing for the recognition of the Armenian Genocide is not a top priority for his ministry, while also expressing cautious optimism about finalizing a normalization deal with Azerbaijan after reaching agreement on one or two more provisions. The Armenian Genocide is certainly not on the Foreign Ministry's agenda as a top priority. Our primary focus is ensuring peace and stability around Armenia, with normalizing relations with Azerbaijan being our key step, Mirzoyan said in Parliament. According to the Armenian government, 13 out of 16 articles in the draft normalization deal have been fully agreed upon. While negotiating the normalization deal, Baku has repeatedly set numerous demands towards Yerevan that include preconditions related to land concessions, a transport link to connect mainland Azerbaijan with its Nakhchivan exclave through Armenian territory, the dissolution of the inactive Minsk group set up in the 1990s to solve the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, and amendments to Armenia's constitution, among others. During his speech in Parliament, Mirzoyan once again said that Armenia has still not decided whether it will send a delegation to Baku for the upcoming COP29 climate conference, set to kick off in less than 2 weeks. Armenian lawmakers introduced a bill yesterday that would allow veterans to keep their pensions while returning to service in combat units, in a move aimed at attracting experienced service members back into the military. The bill passed its first reading in Parliament today. We propose to allow military pensioners to retain their long-service pension rights should they choose to return to service, says the bill submitted by Androni Kocharian and Armen Hachachurian, the chair and deputy chair of the Parliamentary Defence Committee, both members of the ruling Civil Contract Party. Under current law, military pension rights are terminated when recipients return to military service, notable exceptions being mobilisation and reservist training. The new bill limits its scope to officers ranked lieutenant colonel and below, focusing on middle and lower-ranking positions to facilitate their return to active military service. The Armenian National Committee of America has decided not to endorse either major US presidential candidate, citing their shared history of enabling Azerbaijan's actions against Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh, ANCA Executive Director Aram Hamparian announced in a public statement. Neither major party candidate has delivered the concrete results that they are capable of delivering before Election Day, for we are long past the day when we will place our faith in all too often hollow campaign pledges about what candidates will do after they are elected, the statement said. ANCA's decision comes amid increased competition for Armenian American votes in key swing states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The organization outlined specific actions both parties could take immediately, including restrictions on US aid to Azerbaijan, Magnitsky sanctions against Azerbaijani officials, and withdrawal from participation in COP29, a United Nations climate summit set to be held in Baku in November. The United States is home to one of the world's largest Armenian diaspora communities. Human Rights Watch, an international human rights group, called on Armenian lawmakers today to withdraw or significantly revise the controversial surveillance bill that would require mandatory installation of police-accessible CCTV cameras throughout Yerevan, warning that the proposed legislation violates privacy rights and international standards. Widespread and indiscriminate video surveillance would inevitably lead to unjustified intrusions on privacy and cannot be defended as a measure necessary to improve public security in a democracy, said Georgi Gogia, Associate Europe and Central Asia Director at Human Rights Watch. The bill, which passed its first parliamentary review in June 2024, would require private entities including financial, educational, and retail facilities to install cameras providing 24-hour live feeds to police and maintain 15-day recording retention. While the government plans to proceed with parliamentary voting by year's end, the initiative has faced strong criticism from multiple state bodies, including Armenia's Data Protection Agency, Justice Ministry, and Public Defender's Office. Human Rights Watch also warned that proposed application of artificial intelligence to CCTV footage could further threaten fundamental rights such as freedom of assembly and expression. The human rights organization has urged the government to seek an assessment from the Venice Commission, the Council of Europe's advisory body, before moving forward with the legislation. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 150. This is because Edgar Shaheen, a famous French painter of Armenian descent, was born 150 years ago today in Vienna. After graduating from an Armenian lyceum in Venice, he He settled in Paris in 1895, where he established himself as a renowned artist. His work earned him a gold medal at the 1900 Paris World's Fair, and today a museum bearing his name operates in France, preserving his artistic legacy. Many of his most celebrated works depict the daily life of the French working class and performers at the turn of the 20th century. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.